basically not bootleg, but they were unlicensed Nintendo games. They had like Bible games and all this crap. And I found them at a Value Village one time, and I was like, "What is this?" This is like years ago, and I still had like an old Nintendo kicking around. Yeah. And so I bought them all there for like $1 each, and I put them in, and there was like, there's these weird black cartridges that didn't look like regular Nintendo cartridges, and they were like Bible games. There was 5 or 6 of them, and they had this thing on like a sticker on the front, and it was like, "Let the unit will flash 14 times and then press reset." And I was like, okay, that's like how you start it up. And literally you put it in, then the screen just flashes white 14 times, and then you have to push reset. Then the game starts.
If you'd wait 15, it explodes.
I don't know what would happen if you waited 15.
So what was the game?
The game was like...
throw
like
Bibles at infidels.
Yeah. It was like a Zelda clone.
It's Beer Friday, a group of animators getting together to swap stories and see whose is better. And of course, drink some beer. Yeah, Beer Friday is finally here.
Welcome to Beer Friday. I'm your co-host, Rich Johnson, and I'm here with co-host Brent Bouchard.
Hey there.
And we're here with guests Nathan Thomas.
Hello.
Peter Hogan.
Good evening.
Nathan is an animator. Yep. Quickly say what you're currently working on, what you worked on in the past.
Sure. Right now I'm working on a whole bunch of trailers for EA. And in the past I worked as an animator in visual effects for like really, really good movies like Batman vs. Superman, which I think won all the Oscars, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's terrible. And,
won a Peabody Award.
The one good movie I got to work on was Fantastic Beasts. That was a good one.
Oh, that was good.
You worked on more movies than that.
Yeah, but that was a good one.
Like that truck one, the monster truck one?
Monster Trucks came out a few weeks ago, and that was that was something. That was a special movie.
Was that a wide release too?
It was wide release, believe it or not. And some stuff. I know all you guys from TV though, and that was fun times. I enjoyed it.
Now, looking back now, it's fun.
Yeah.
You always forget.
I always remember being like, I hope I can afford food this week.
That's the way it is with every gig, isn't it?
But besides that, it was great fun.
Cool. Pete, can you just sort of say what you're working on now, what you worked on in the past?
Hey! Now, I'm working at Capcom right now, visual effects artist. And before that, I did a little bit of time at Propaganda. And then before that, animation. So I was working at, what was that place called? I worked on Thomas.
Oh, yeah, Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Nitrogen.
Okay.
And then I was at Nerdcore with you guys for about 5 years, 6 years. And then before that, I don't know, Vancouver Film School. I taught there for a bit. Or TA'd there, yeah.
Very nice. All right, so the beer we're drinking today is...
Oh, it's fantastic. Are we on?
It's magical.
Yeah, R&B. It's the R&B, East Van Original R&B Brewing Company. It's on 4th in Quebec, I think. Yeah, 4th in Quebec.
Best streets?
It's pretty awesome in there. They have pizza, and you can have lunch there.
Yeah.
And this is the Raven Cream Ale.
Oh, Raven Cream Ale. Okay.
Oh.
I've had this at a pub before, but never out of the growler.
It's all natural, unpasteurized.
I can really taste the all-naturalness of it. Like I thought, is that artificial flavor? No,
it's real cream.
real cream. It's milky.
That's nice. Yeah.
Is it pasteurized or unpasteurized?
Unpasteurized.
The milk too?
They do have a milk one.
What?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a
Wait,
milk
no.
beer.
Milk beer?
Yeah.
beer.
It's called Shake Your Fruity Milkshake India Pale Ale.
That can't be right.
Our milkshake IPA containing lactose and brewed with oats and apple puree for a soft and full body primary flavors. I should have got that one.
Is it just describing my poop the next time?
Yeah. Yeah, if your hangover dump isn't bad enough, have one of those.
Well, I guess there goes that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Story time.
Who wants to start?
I've got a story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it a good story?
it's a good story. It's a shared story between Pete and I here.
I was there.
Let's just dim the lights a little bit for this.
Ooh,
romantic.
Ooh, I like that.
It's
Story time. Yeah,
All right. So I had just started at Nerdcore.
Oh, it's a dark and stormy night.
Dark and stormy night. I was a young lad. I was
Give us a year.
This is a while ago, actually.
This is probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
More than that.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was 1924.
There we go.
We are vampires.
Disney was working on Snow White. You guys were working on
We're working on the worst.
the first 3D.
It was a cheap knockoff.
Yeah. Very expensive production. Took 80 years to come out. Anyways, so
it was Stormhawks. It was Stormhawks, I think.
It was
real.
Stormhawks,
Yeah.
and it was I was one of my first jobs ever, and I was a render wrangler. And
Which is the lowest.
The lowest
What, is,
below.
what does that mean? Sorry,
Yeah.
because I'm not from a 3D
That's
background.
okay.
I don't know some of those
I don't really know. I did it for like a month.
Yeah. So yeah.
He
so
doesn't even know.
at the
I
time.
don't know.
So, and I guess I was like a senior visual effects artist.
Yeah, yeah.
I think at the time, and basically the render wrangler was the lowest, worst position you could
Yeah,
get because
it
we would
was-
get tons of students. There was
Yeah.
like this constant churn.
But no offense to the render wranglers that are listening to this.
Oh, no.
It's a great
Yeah.
entry
Well, no,
into
the people
That
are-
job doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it doesn't. It's
No.
computers now.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually. The only way I got out of that position is because they were like, wow, he's really fast and really good at this. But I wasn't. I was just like, I would just do a task kind of half-assed, and then I'd always be like, give me more work. I need more work. I need more work. And I have nothing to do. So my supervisor was like, wow, this guy's really fast. We should probably, he really wants to animate. We should try and get him to animate. And so that's what I really wanted to do. But anyways.
So you showed initiative.
I showed
and,
initiative.
Yeah.
I kind of BS my way out of that position, thankfully.
That's what everybody does.
It'd be great if you were like, man, I'm out of work. I need some. Meanwhile, the stuff you're doing is just catching fire.
Yeah.
And just
I think it was, though. I just wasn't
costing the
going
studio
anywhere.
tons of money. You're like, but he's showing initiative. It's fine.
I could fix so much shit.
I can fix my own problems, guys. And so one day, I don't think it was me, but somebody threw out a Coke can.
I actually know who it was.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that.
So there's a Coke can in the garbage can.
That guy didn't last long.
And I hear this voice come from behind me, and it's like,
Who threw out this Coke can?
and I just turn. Everyone's like really terrified because this quiet, guy in the corner who's very senior was very mad at all of us now. And I, discovered it was Pete. And
Mild-mannered Pete.
yeah, and he's like,
Who's fucking recycling bins with this shit?
and
Right there.
it's like it literally was like one bin over.
Don't throw this shit. And that guy was drinking like a 6-pack of Coke
Oh, yeah.
every single day.
Oh, yeah.
And so it just weeks on weeks.
So was this like the
throwing them out.
25th Coke can
Yeah,
you
he's
saw
like,
in
I've
there?
had enough.
Yeah,
Flip
that
the
was it.
table.
Wow.
And so I was like, I like this guy. He's got some gumption. So
yeah.
we started. I don't even know how we started chatting. I think I just asked you questions.
Yeah.
Like, how do I fix this?
I like this guy. He really takes, really cares a lot about recycling.
Yeah,
My kind of guy.
Yeah. It started
He's
with
a cool guy.
cool guy. This guy seems really cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
This
right.
is the birth of recycling.
Yeah.
This is like when
Still
Mad
new.
Max was a real reality.
Oh, So you were ahead of your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gas shortages. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then best friend since.
Best friends ever since that. We high-fived. There was explosions. And
Yeah.
fast forward a couple of years. We're all buddies now. And Pete and some other animators and other friends from Nerdcore, we all go to Granville Island. And a lot of the people there used to go to Emily Carr, which is also on Granville Island.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were all drinking and having a good time down there. And someone says, hey, there's this old bakery over here around the corner here that they take all. I think it was Jackie, our friend.
Yeah,
Jackie.
so that's why we were down there because she was from
Emily Carr.
and it was
Yeah.
like her friend's like student show. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
she's now an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zootopia.
Yeah.
Jackie
Yeah.
Kohler.
Yeah.
Shit, no way.
And her
Congrats.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
too.
Andrew. Yeah, both
Andrew.
those guys are super awesome. Anyways, we're all down there, and we were like, oh, there's this bakery that throws out all their day-old stuff just in the back of the bin.
Yeah.
And so we found this we dive into this garbage bin.
Totally
way.
sober, dude. Totally sober.
We dive into this garbage.
We dive into this garbage bin,
Behind
tear
the
open the bags, and sure enough, there's
Baguettes.
like baguettes that are rock hard and like little buns that are also just rock hard. We're
Just
throwing
grenades.
them at each other, and we had like welts and
Yeah,
stuff.
so we had
and
it was bread wars. I think.
bread wars. Yeah, we had
bread
sword
wars.
fights, and
Yeah.
one of us had a big bruise on the side of their face.
It wasn't me.
It's a lot of fun. But the story gets better because we years later, we're all back down at the Granville Island again and not sober again. And we're like, guys, isn't there that bakery that has the day old?
Oh, yeah.
And so, we jump into the dumpster again and we tear open the bags. And I was like,
Human head.
It's like, how do you know that's bread? And then I think it was Jackie. She's just like, it isn't. It was just garbage. We're all just like, oh no.
Some things change.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was good times.
Wow.
The day we rolled in garbage. Yeah, Bread Wars. Never
Red
forget.
Wars, never forget, and I can't because I still have the wounds.
Scars to prove it.
Yeah.
Internal bleeding.
Internal bleeding. Yeah.
Can't go near a baguette these days.
Never. Every time I hold a baguette again, I just
Flashbacks.
flashbacks.
Right. Yeah. You hold a baguette like a baseball bat ever since then.
So Pete, did you have a back pocket story or anything like that? Where did you go to school or anything like that?
I was really into 3D because of Pixar, and they were back then though. I'm an old man. They were doing commercials. Do you remember those gummy lifesaver commercials?
Yeah, man.
I freaking loved that. I was like, "Wow, this is 3D. This is the future." And then they did some shorts, and this was all before Toy Story, though. So, but I was super interested in it, and so I was trying to get. There was barely any information, so I was trying to get everything I could. And there was like a magazine, like Mac Life or something like that, and they had a trial version of 3D. It was Cinema 4D, but it was like version 3. They're way higher now, but they're still around.
In the
I
magazine,
love
they
that.
had the disc or whatever.
On the disc, yeah. So
that program's awesome.
yeah,
it's
right.
great, yeah.
It's not very popular in America though, but it's really big in Europe.
I'm just
and
starting
for motion
to-
graphics.
I'm
and
just
stuff.
starting to learn it
Graphics
right
and
now. It's pretty good.
advertising.
Yeah, and so I learned on that. I taught myself that, and then I actually paid for I had like a $150 cheap version of it kind of thing. So I used that so I could render out some stuff, and I made like a little short animation. And then I saw that VFS was doing like scholarship competition type thing. So I entered that, and then I got so there's about 100 people entered it, and they called me up, and they're like, well, sorry, you didn't win. Or no, first they said, you're third place. And I was like, third place is amazing.
Yeah.
And then and then they're like, yeah, there was about 100 people, third place. I was like, yes. And then they're like, well, it doesn't cover the scholar. Like, it's not going to cover the tuition.
Yeah, and you have to be older than 8.
Oh, no. I think I was like 19 at the time.
Okay.
And, but it did cover like some entry fees and some other stuff, whatever. So like a few $100. And I was like, sweet. It proved to myself that I could do this. So then I worked three jobs actually for a while, saved up some money, went to VFS, and did that course, and it changed my life, like literally. Like,
Wow.
And it was the course was so good, the people were so cool.
So VFS has a 3D and a 2D, is that right?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
3D. It was like a diploma in 3D animation, visual effects, something like that, or modeling or something like that. And because I focused on modeling, I was character modeling.
Yeah.
And then, but the biggest thing by far was the connections. And so a lot of people from there came from mainframe, and then all those people moved over to Nerdcore.
Right.
And Nerdcore was basically mainframe and VFS people.
So just to paint a picture of the
teachers-
climate at the time, this was like late 90s, early 2000s?
Early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
When the
Early 2000s.
industry was kind of ramping up and there was a lot of, there was a bit of a boom at that time.
Yeah. Well, this is. So they all left to form Nerdcore, and then like 6 months later, I joined them as well.
Sorry, the people that left were your teachers, right?
Yeah. And so I heard them talking about it.
Yeah.
But I actually stayed on. Well, actually, I worked on. I did a GI Joe movie for Real Effects in Texas, that place. So I did that remotely from home. I did that for like 6 months, and then I TA'd for a semester. But then I realized everyone was leaving to go to this Nerdcore place. And I was like, well, all my teachers and people I really respected were there. This must be a good place. So as soon as my contract was up, I went there, and I was there for like 5.5 years or so.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and it was so cool. Everyone, it was a lot of people who were just getting into 3D, so the atmosphere was very creative, and they really allowed people to explore. So I started as a character modeler, did that for a while, and then I remembered there was nobody compositing. And so originally, actually, they had the animators compositing their shots. Like they'd render out their shots, composite them,
Right.
and then if they needed and that was a mainframe thing.
Yeah.
And if they
were
needed
like,
anything,
like generalists.
yeah. And then they'd send it. They had like 2 visual effects artists that would do stuff if you needed it. And so what we did was we had a rotation where one of the character modelers would go out and learn compositing and composite for the animators to fill up the gap.
Wow.
And so that's how I learned. They taught me on the job, but I loved it. And then slowly I moved into that. And then as a compositor, eventually they were like, well, you can just do full-time compositing. So I did that and I just helped out modeling. And then they would start to teach me effects. And I was like, whoa, this is a whole new world. I had no idea how all these effects were done. And it's kind of like it's a little bit more magical. It's like, it's all like, it's completely just faking everything.
Yeah.
So by effects, though, just for the folks at home, you're meaning like particle simulations.
Particle simulation.
We were making like dust, and I remember I asked you. I remember this one time. I was like, "Hey, Pete, how's it going?" You're like, "Yeah, good." Like, what are you working on right now? Oh, a lot of dust.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It was mostly dust.
I think that was for.
That was also Stormhawks, wasn't it? Or was that
That was
Dragon
Hot Wheels,
Booster?
I think.
Oh no, I was gone before that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I basically did Dragon Booster, and then
Right.
from way pre-production on Stormhawks to pretty much the very end of that.
Yeah.
And actually on Stormhawks I did pretty much everything. I was like modeling, compositing, and visual effects. But yeah, for visual effects it was like particles and simulations. But it was cool. So cool because it was a 2D kind of look to that show, so we could get away with so much. So I actually did some like hand painted stuff just to finish things to make them look better. Because we were more
cool.
we were kind of like the finisher.
Yeah.
Of the shot. Like once all the animation, all the modeling, everything was in there. Like, how do we just plus it up?
Yeah.
So the shot and angle would be locked. If you needed to fill in an area of the screen, you could go in there.
Yeah, I
and
could
do it.
actually
That's cool.
do stuff. So, and it was really cool. At that time, it was pretty small. So it was just like I would be sitting, or actually when I was compositing, I would sit with like the director, and like George
That's
and I was
right.
like the best combo, and
George,
he would know everything exactly, like way ahead of time. He'd be like, this, these are the shots you should work on. Bust out everything super fast.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's how I got into the industry.
Snack time.
Because one of our guests, Peter Hogan, is
Sorry.
a vegetarian.
Well, I'm sorry.
He used to be a vegan.
Yeah, but I, reformed.
He just drinks milk beer now.
But you,
I would have been vegan if it wasn't for the milk beer.
That milk beer converted him.
I'm pretty sure this one will be disgusting. It's called, and I just tried to find strangest thing on the internet that's a vegetarian food.
We're eating the strangest thing on the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And it's called Natto. Natto. And it's a Japanese, it's fermented soybeans. It's a Japanese
Anything fermented.
snack.
Yeah.
We had an
Food.
exchange student from Japan when I was in grade 7, and I think he called me Natto.
Well, it's basically
It's very similar.
a fermented soybean that is has a spermy-like slime to it.
Oh boy.
You can get this at any like Asian market that
Hates people.
Yeah.
So I went to the TNT market.
When you order
downtown.
it, they say something in Chinese to their
Oh,
friends.
speaking of which, so I went to TNT market to get this, and
They told you to go to like a pet store.
it stinks in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's an odd. It's just like a different world.
It smells
in there.
like dry fish.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fresh or dry
Yeah,
meat.
It's like the fucking Vancouver
Oh, it's so
aquarium in there.
I love the
Yeah, we take our
packaging.
kids there. Sorry.
Yeah, for free.
So this is where we got our snack from.
All right. I'm excited.
Okay, so this came in.
I want the listeners to know that there are more than one container.
Yes,
Of this,
so
so you thought we would come in for
there
a
you go.
second.
Yeah. We could have
you
safely
guys
shared
are
one of these.
You guys are all gonna open them.
Okay. Oh, Rich doesn't have one. Wow, look at that. Oh, he does.
Well, I'm gonna share one with Brent.
Okay.
I want the folks
But
at home to know
Brent,
that.
you open it up. So describe what you guys have in your hands.
First of
right
all, this is
'Kay.
like legit styrofoam. Like when have you last
yeah.
seen?
There's these little containers that they come in.
It's like the Asian
three of
version
them.
of the McDLT right now.
I actually broke mine.
Yeah, mine's kind of a mystery to open. Oh my gosh. It looks like something from Prometheus. You know, when the alien egg opens.
Okay, so this one gift turns into
Okay.
two gifts.
There's
Three gifts. There's mustard.
there's mustard sauce.
mustard sauce,
What I'm assuming is that a soy sauce?
soy sauce.
It's kind of clear.
And then there's a plastic sort of sheet over the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, and
And we're
it looks like brown beans.
Pulling that off, and it is a little stringy.
It's very
I'm going to give it a sniff here.
Yeah,
Hang on.
very stringy.
Give it a sniff.
Which I
Holy
like
crap.
a lot of
What's this?
fermented
Oh,
stuff.
It's got
gross.
these
That's
silky, spindly kind
really
of
disgusting.
strings coming off of the top.
the next-
So you add the mustard and the soy
first.
sauce in. You mix it up.
All right. You can't just have it straight up.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
I like mine neat.
I'm gonna try it neat.
Yeah, we should try them straight up before.
Oh,
we
they're
get
kind of
saucy.
hard.
Yeah. Well, it's like
They're hard
It's
and
just
like
the beans.
It looks
Careful,
like
man, you got-
So stringy.
it really looks like sperm to me.
I think it's the it's really just soybeans that have gone bad. It's
Yeah.
not
Oh.
processed.
I don't like the smell.
No, you don't. Nobody does.
I think it's so bad
It
that
doesn't.
it's good.
No, wait, hold on.
But you know what?
It's got a like funky smell, but the taste is like coffee.
I like the mustard.
Well,
I could get that mustard.
It
Separately.
is like putting mustard in your coffee, right?
It really is. Like I'm eating mustard coffee.
Yeah.
Salty.
This
Well,
is
there's the
delicious.
MSG that's
You're
probably
into
in it.
I'm almost done.
Pete's into it.
Pete's
Wow,
all over
Pete.
this stuff.
There's
You,
always
you can
one-
have ours if you want, man.
There's always a guy.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. You know,
Yeah.
that's what you need.
We thought this was cat food at first. Again.
This looks like a bad wound or something.
Yeah.
Like if something in your body looked like this, you'd
looks
you'd
like
have days to live. You know?
But not like a good wound.
It's very pungent.
Yeah.
It hits you in the face first because you smell it, and when you taste it, it doesn't taste at all like it smells. That's the
Yeah.
weird part.
Here's the problem. It's a bad taste, a bad smell, a bad texture.
Okay,
Cool.
that's it,
That was
man.
snack
Alright.
time. Thanks a lot.
Snack
man.
time.
Thank you guys.
Well, we'll
I'm
just
not
take.
coming back next time.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
gonna-
died.
I'm
dead.
not a co-host anymore. Fuck this. I've eaten too many shitty things. It's snack time.
That was it. Natto.
I'm surprised you lasted this long, Brent.
Yeah, I know.
Favorite thing.
Sorry, I'm just gonna look at the internet here just so I know what I'm
That's
doing.
what the internet looks like.
What is this?
Dude, sweet, is that dial-up?
Is that AOL?
It's Sega.
You have mail.
So this podcast I've been listening to is called The Collective Podcast. The guy that hosts it, his name is Ash Thorpe, and he is a visual effects artist, illustrator,
I've
director.
seen his stuff. It's really cool.
Does short films, gets staff pics on Vimeo. Pretty awesome. His Twitter is great because he always posts stuff that's related to the podcast and him, and visual effects and art. The one thing that's great about it is that he gets great people on, and the conversations will go for like 3 hours. And he doesn't edit it, I don't think, much. So it kind of, sometimes I'll just sort of skip through things, but I'll always go back to it if it's good. I think one of the things that he focuses on the most in his podcast is that, and I bring this up because you were talking about this to me, Nate, about that whole life-work balance.
Yeah.
And doing something that's creative, and is it like worth the money to do this, or because I'm gonna have to do 12 hours of overtime, and then I also want to do my side projects, and I got a family. He talks a lot about that. I find that most of the guests have been working in the industry for so long, and then they kind of get tired of it, and they break off and start doing their own stuff and become entrepreneurs. So it's really cool and inspiring to listen to these guys' journeys and stuff. And then the other second part of this is he started a school called Learn Squared, and this sounds like I'm doing advertisement right now.
Tell me more.
How much is it per month?
Yeah.
Like about
It's the low, low price,
70 American to take one of the classes.
Cool. 500 Canadian.
But
Okay.
they're super cool. Like he's got one that's Houdini Procedural Foundations. I mean, that sounds like a mouthful, but
Cool, yeah.
Or concepting in ZBrush.
Cool. I just love nerding. I love to just watch those.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not using ZBrush anymore, I just want to watch somebody make something really cool.
And these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Like this is like current shit that they've created or they figured out, and I don't know, it's kind of cool.
That's so
I'm
cool.
actually starting to do I'm doing motion design and starting that next week.
That's awesome.
But
So once you buy a subscription, or is it per class? Like
it's per class.
Okay.
So what the cool thing is that I think if you pay a little bit more, you watch like an artist go through the course, not have ever done it before. So you watch their process, their thinking process
Yeah.
of
What?
learning it, which is also pretty cool way to learn.
Yeah.
To see someone else go through it. That's talented. Like that
But they're
is a-
learning it for the first time.
Yeah. So
Right.
they're just like
I've
That's
never
really
seen
cool.
that.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
heard of that.
So they're
That's
asking
really
all
cool.
the questions you're thinking of and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good idea.
Cool, man.
And
check
then-
this out.
This is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then they have a really expensive one. It's the master's class where you actually get one-on-one
Wow.
with the teacher. But it's like a bit more. But
He flies out.
He flies out. He flies
He
out.
lives in your house for 6 months.
Yeah, you have to feed him.
You just have to feed him and water him.
Feed him and water him. Put him back in the cupboard. At night.
Right.
He is cage trained.
Yeah.
Cart. What is it?
He's kind of like a big sea monkey.
And don't get him wet. Oh no! What have you done?
Crate trained. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's
Cool.
my share.
That's so cool, man.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good share.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite thing, this is something I was into, I don't know, maybe a month ago, but it's still relevant
Yeah.
in my brain as something I'm into. The graphic novel Persepolis.
They
Heard
made
of that?
a film about that, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made an animated
It's
film
like
too.
black and white, I think, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I heard great things.
Yeah. So what happens is I go to the library with my daughter because she likes to get books out, and I would get a couple like Franklin Turtle books and whatever, and be like, oh man, here we go. And then I'm like, wait a second, they got graphic novels upstairs. I'm like, I'm going up there. So I'd go up and I'd grab like a graphic novel from upstairs, and just whenever my daughter was there at the library, and then I saw Persepolis and they had both books there, so I grabbed it. The author is Mary Jane Strappy, and
That's probably how it's pronounced.
I think that's exactly how it's pronounced. Yeah.
Flawless.
Yeah. It follows this girl. It basically mirrors her life growing up in Iran in like the late 70s, early 80s. This is during like the Islamic Revolution in like 79, and then getting into like Iraq invaded Iran and like took over, and the regime got kind of crazy. And it, she's growing up in the 80s with her family, and everything was kind of chill, and then all of a sudden it just turns into like this sort of extreme state, and like she needs to she's into punk rock and she's into pop music and like Western culture and stuff, and it's like she's got to go to this market and like go down an alleyway and find like a Michael Jackson poster and like roll it up in her jacket and like smuggle it down back to her house and put it
love
up.
that.
And then like there'll just be these raids, when the officials there will like just randomly search your house looking for
Michael Jackson,
alcohol
please.
and Michael Jackson posters and stuff. And
Moonwalk you out of there.
and yeah. And so it's kind of like fucked up to think about like dealing with that sort of stuff. But and it sort of follows her, and then her, I'll spoil a bit of the
Sure.
book, but
Crepes.
and then it gets like her folks realize that it's a little crazy for her to grow up in this sort of climate, so they send her to Europe to go to college and stuff. And so she's just away from her folks after like the age of 15 till like 25 or something like that. And then she's out there doing her thing, and she's like, getting involved with drugs, and she kind of becomes homeless for a little while. And it's really interesting though. And then she gets
and then like when she goes to America, she finally discovers that Michael Jackson isn't Japanese.
right. Yeah. She's like, I really like this this Japanese lady, Michael Jackson.
Michelle Jackson.
And then it gets
That's the last page.
Yeah. And then she gets back to Iran at the end and meets her folks as an adult, and they kind of reconvene. And it's like really kind of heavy material, but it's a good story, and the artwork's really cool. So I recommend that. That's my favorite thing right now.
sounds
Cool.
really
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's heavy.
It's
Yeah, it's
also
heavy.
it's a little scary though that you leave your kid downstairs while you go. Just leave Molly. Hey, Molly, I'll be right back.
Yeah. You got my number, right?
Brent's like on the ground by the graphic novels, just reading in the corner.
Yeah. Just come find me in a couple hours. Just get the hell out of here.
Me tell you.
Let's switch the subject.
Let's.
Oh.
I can't beat that.
I didn't do anything.
Let's
Oh no, you Nintendo didn't.
keep going. I'm gonna turn it on. Can we get?
Oh.
This is the Nintendo Switch.
Oh wow.
Holy fuck! I'm so excited right
I'm
now.
actually. I wanted to get to like a good spot to like be like, hey,
just
now you
peed.
can play.
I just peed a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's the Nintendo Switch show. It's a Zelda machine.
It's just
and-
Zelda.
So it comes with Zelda,
with
or you
Zelda?
buy Zelda.
That's extra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
I would pay any price though.
Yeah. So you've played, I guess, all the Zeldas.
Actually, I haven't really played the portable ones, the 2D ones, very much. But
Yeah,
all the
you
big
can-
3D ones I've played.
Yeah. Like
except for
the
the
old
last one.
Ocarina and all that.
Yeah. Big fan of those.
Yeah, Ocarina was, I think, one of the best games I ever played.
Yep.
And
was
how
really
this one? How does it compare?
Well, let's just
Sorry, I don't want to. Okay,
let's do it
sorry,
right
no,
away.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say long pause,
Yeah.
pregnant pause.
Wow.
This is better.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of the original where it's so well designed. I've only been playing it for like 24 hours, 30 hours. It's like, I mean, I've only put in like maybe 5 hours or something.
Right.
I've only had it for like a day, and but even then, I can tell everything is so designed, like so minute, like the little things. It blows my mind. But it reminds me of the original one because right at the beginning, you get like 2 minutes of a little story, whatever. It's basically you just wake up, hear a voice, and then you're in a cave. You learn how to jump, put on some clothes, and you're out, and then you can go anywhere. That's it.
Oh, nice.
And if you go into the wrong spot, you die instantly.
See,
Sweet.
Which they haven't done that in a long time.
this is the thing that everyone had a problem with because like original Zelda and Zelda 2 even. If you go, you can go. Zelda 2 not so much. The original Zelda. Yeah, if you went into the wrong place, there's just a shitload of bad dudes there, and they'll kick your ass, and you go, okay, I'm going to stay away from that cave.
Yeah, or it'd be like it's on fire, and then you have to get the fire suit or something to block.
So they're
that.
back to that. Right?
Yeah, it's totally like that. But they've got this really cool mechanic where you have stamina, and so you can climb any mountain, you can swim anywhere, except as much as your stamina meter will go.
Okay. Which can be upgraded.
They started that a little bit in Skyward Sword. You do have a little stamina meter.
That's the one I haven't.
So, like, as your character gets more strong, as he levels up, he gets more stamina, so you can go further?
A little bit, yeah. So what happens is
You can get tired, basically.
There's these shrines everywhere. This is not spoiling anything. There's over 100 of them, all over, scattered all over the place. And every time you do one, you complete one, you get like this little spirit thing, or whatever. And every 4, you can cash them in to this like spirit thing, and you can either pick more hearts or more stamina. So you can kind of like figure out which way are you playing. Like, are you the kind of guy that like just rushes into the big baddie? Then you need more hearts, or you're like trying to climb mountains and stuff. Then you need more of that, or swim or whatever.
That's so cool.
But it's crazy because if you run out of stamina, like I'm just climbing a mountain, you just fall.
Oh, really?
If you run out. Or if you're swimming, you just drown. So you have to be very careful about these kind of things.
Yeah.
It sounds bad.
Slowly
because it sounds like you're dying constantly.
Yeah.
But what it is it forces you to kind of think, oh, how does this game think? And then as soon as I got into that mode, I was like, whoa, it has this crazy physics system, and everything ties into it. Like, so like if you want to cross this river, you could swim, but you'll drown. But you could go cut a tree down and makes a bridge. You can cross that. And stuff
Okay,
like that.
so it's like kind of like Tomb Raider-ish, where you're problem solving and make like puzzles.
Oh yeah, I feel really smart.
So it's
they're simple
less,
puzzles.
Like some of the last few games, they would corral you into a certain path. So there's and you feel like you're all problem solving through the way, but it's still linear.
Yeah,
So it's not like that.
Yeah, it's like
more,
the opposite. In fact, if you really like Twilight Princess,
I like that one. Yeah.
It was pretty linear though. For most, there's some open parts, but especially the beginning, and then it got linear again. I think this is like the opposite. That could maybe some fans might not like that, but
no, I think
anyone who likes Zelda should try it out for sure.
Yeah.
And I think anyone that likes open world games should try it.
Oh man, now I gotta get one.
So there's no like Navi going like, hey, listen.
No, not at
or,
all.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
awesome,
there is like a mini map, but you can turn it off.
Yeah. Cool.
So you can. I know you can
that
hook that
sounds
up to the TV.
It's really fun.
Like as far as the Switch itself, like the.
Yeah, so the Switch itself.
That's pretty cool. That's the exciting thing, eh?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a iPad mini with controllers on the side, I guess.
Does it get internet and all that?
Yeah,
and
it's
YouTube and-
Wi-Fi. Actually, it doesn't have any apps or anything like that, so there's none of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Probably will, though, I imagine.
I think it's... so the theory is people on the interwebs think it's just launched a little early. That's all.
Okay.
So the other big thing, part of this, is people were... we heard... Nate was trying to spoil this earlier.
No, I wasn't.
So apparently...
Shut up, Nate.
I was just asking questions.
To keep children and small animals from eating your awesome games, apparently they coat it with something that tastes terrible, so you don't eat it.
Oh.
So I think...
Should we try it?
Our first snack should be...
time.
We should...
Oh, we're gonna die.
Rich, are you going to taste my Zelda?
I'm just. It's like a drug, and I'll turn into Zelda.
Who wants
I want to do it now.
I want to taste it.
the
Yeah,
game.
I'll taste it.
Okay,
after.
let's
Can I
see.
just put my tongue on it?
Whoa, Brent's
I think
doing
so.
it.
Like,
Maybe
I don't know
the
if I want to put the whole...
Okay.
Because I don't want to like damn it. That looks like you shouldn't put
Just
that
not
part
on
in
the
your mouth.
gold part.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
for
just
it.
I'm gonna lick the front here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I was expecting a little more.
Like,
I have a question. How many people's mouth has this cartridge been in?
and here's the other thing too. Like,
Been around work.
Nintendo knows that
Brent,
because
your face is getting puffy.
my tongue's getting
man.
a little swollen. I might be allergic to it.
More beer for us, guys. More beer for us.
So
I'm
gonna.
It tastes like earwax a little bit.
Oh,
Okay. I can't quite
I
describe
actually
this.
want to eat it
You
now.
want to do it? Go for it, Pete.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you know,
Oh, God, now I have to try
it's
it.
like
Yeah, I
it's
want-
like really, it's like really bitter. I think
Yeah.
like
very bitter.
if I start tripping out in a couple hours,
It's like licking a toad or whatever.
yeah.
I apparently can't taste
We
anything.
might have licked all the stuff off it.
Yeah.
No. So it only works once.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a modest lick.
Very modest. You got to go full bore.
Nate, you just have to suck on it now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys,
like
I'm
a
ready.
lozenge.
I'm excited. I'm trying to find a clean
That's not going
corner
to
on
stop a
this
kid
thing.
from eating
I
it.
dropped it.
Up.
But you know what that is gonna? That's gonna.
Please don't break that.
It's gonna stop.
I'm not done yet.
It might stop kids from eating it, but it's gonna encourage 30-somethings to eat them because I think everyone who has a Switch is gonna
Okay.
put that in their mouth.
Here goes.
Suck, taste, that's what.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You know, I don't understand the rationale behind this whole thing. Like, if a kid's going to eat this, he's going to eat it regardless of what it tastes like.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll just kind of take a bite and spit it out.
Yeah, maybe.
right.
I have 2 kids. I'll try it at home.
Yeah.
Hey, will you eat this? There goes $80.
Oh, yeah, they did eat it. Cool. And then the next question is: after it passes, can you still play it? Right?
So I think we should probably review Zelda right now. We've got enough
think so.
experience with it.
Yeah.
I
How
think
many,
we should finish the game.
Looks
Let's just
amazing. Looks amazing. Tastes
We'll just make
terrible.
sure you're terrible. Yeah.
So that was snack time.
That was snack time.
My other favorite thing is Glen Scotia.
Oh, shit.
Should I get some glasses? I'll
Yes,
get some
please.
glasses.
This is
This
awesome.
is a very fine Scotch
This-
that I think I first
take a look at the
tasted
bottle here?
in Scotland. We went to this. We actually went to Edinburgh and we went to this whiskey tasting experience, which was ridiculous.
You went to the distillery?
No. We went to this whiskey tasting experience.
Wow. Was there like fog and like laser lights? And
Almost. It was kind of like so you get into a barrel and you go on a little ride and
it's
have like a movie.
like Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
It's very cheesy, very
Yeah.
cheesy. And but then the highlight, of course, once you're done, you wait in line and you get into this room and you get to taste a bunch of different, usually single malt, but different Scotch.
Yeah.
And they're all from different regions, and then each one is kind of like summing up that region, and they're all so different and they're all so unique. And this was one of my favorites.
Wow.
Ooh, perfect.
Fancy.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a cube.
I just go neat.
So, and this was probably my favorite one, and it's so I really like the peaty ones from Isla,
Cool.
and this is close to that.
Glen Scotia, double cask, single malt Scotch whiskey.
So recently I purchased an electric vehicle.
What?
You did it!
Yeah, I
Oh,
did it.
shit, no way.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
living the dream.
I'm living the dream, and I love it. I think I can't go back to a gas-propelled vehicle anymore. I can't do that.
The whole sneaking up on teenagers thing.
You can't hear it. What? Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I think it's great.
So what kind of car? Did
It's
you
a Nissan Leaf. It's a used one from the States. I got it for super cheap. So
How much?
Well, I think after all the taxes and border stuff, it was $12,000.
That is really
for
good.
That's
2013.
super
yeah.
affordable. Yeah.
Super affordable. And so I just charged it at work, parking on the street at home.
Wow.
I don't pay for any gas anymore.
What about like
Yeah.
battery, like memory? Like, is it just
Yeah.
gonna die?
So it will eventually die, deplete. You'll lose range over time, kind of like Zelda.
like human
You
life.
have the stamina.
Yeah.
So you're like,
So you have to upgrade this.
yeah. So I could be driving up a mountain
Yeah,
and
so-
just die, just like Zelda does.
So in 7 years or 5 years, whatever, you might have to replace the battery.
Yes, and so hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of people saying that there's going to be aftermarket batteries, drive
Oh,
the
don't
cost
get those
down.
cheap aftermarket batteries.
Yeah.
I'm all about the aftermarket.
Oh yeah, the Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah,
yeah. They're gonna, they might explode. Yeah.
I got to say though, today I was at the I was at the aquarium with my daughter,
Yep.
driving there, and there was like these 3 sweet spots right by the line that were for
they're
electric
beauty.
cars, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
oh man,
That's cheating.
I'm like, no, I love it though, like
Yeah.
incentivizing electric vehicles.
And there's a lot more parking spots now with like our new
The
building.
new DHX building.
The new DHX building's
There's
got.
Like a plug
I
right
think
in
they
the
have to
spot.
have 10 spots for
Yeah.
like 4
Wow,
hours.
10. That's
Yeah.
pretty big. Wow.
I'm gonna
Great.
say 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like there's 10 in there.
Yeah. And there's actually like a spot to go and park and charge.
Yeah.
One of the guys drives an electric car and he plugs it in there. And
Yeah.
So do you have to pay for that?
No, so the charging is usually free. There's a few stations where it costs like maybe a quarter or something, but it's super cheap. Yeah,
What?
25 cents.
yeah, yeah.
We're gonna
long
phase
does
out
it-
quarters pretty soon.
Okay, how
you,
long-
just
but how
swipe,
long-
you swipe your card.
How long does it take to charge? Like,
It depends on which level charger you get. So if I just plug it into a normal outlet,
I want unleaded, like the highest grade charge.
if I plug it into like a toaster, it will take like, if it's fully dead, it will take like 12 hours to charge,
What
right?
about partially dead?
And partially, so I just drive to work and back, and I plug it in at the little normal outlet at work, and it takes like 4 hours to charge it.
Yeah.
But they have, if it's fully dead, I can take it to a level 2 charger, and there's like those are the ones in shopping malls and probably DHX and
with
stuff.
the weird little prongs.
with the weird little prongs.
And they have like sparks coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And looks
and that
angry.
that one's only like 2 maybe 3 hours
Wow.
from dead.
from dead. And then there's like the
For a
supercharger.
full charge.
Yeah, full charge.
do you have to full charge?
No, actually, I recommend to preserve your battery life. They say just pull it out at 80%. So that's when you should.
That's how you save your marriage as well.
There you go.
Save your batteries.
Yeah.
You could save all kinds of legal fees.
Legal fees.
Or
Remember,
you just cover
kids,
your car.
I got
Just
2
pull
kids.
out.
I don't know how that works.
So you're not going to be saving that battery.
And then there's the one. There's a few superchargers. So there's one at BCIT, and that's 30 minutes.
Really?
And that one's really cool because they have solar panels, and so the
What?
whole thing is charged.
What?
It's like, do they
But
get
on a cloudy
electricity?
day, it's like 2 hours.
Your leaf is powered by the sun.
Pretty much, man. How cool is that? I don't know.
Pretty-
That's
it
super cool.
feels
Yeah.
like an old 70s rock song.
And this car, I mean, it doesn't go crazy fast, but it's got a lot of torque. Like I'll just look down and like instantly I'm at like 70 kilometers an hour. I'm like,
And you're
oh,
like
shit.
passing people that are walking.
Yeah, I'm beating them.
And totally silent. That's what
Totally
gets me.
silent.
Yeah.
They add a little sound like you go in reverse. It's like because it's so quiet. Like I would probably kill somebody if they didn't.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's good. So my wife is tired of me talking about it because of what another cool thing is. Oh my gosh,
Get
this is
in
so
here.
dorky.
This is why we
going,
have
keep
the
it going.
podcast.
Yes, I know.
Because our wives are sick of us.
Oh,
Yeah, this
it's
is
so true.
shit we can't talk about with
I
our
know.
lives. Podcast.com.
Yeah.
So if I go down a hill, that hill, I take my foot off the gas, it charges the battery.
Yes.
What?
Actually,
So
I thought it was
wow.
brake.
Braking as well, but
Yeah.
I also have this regenerative thing. So you take your foot off, it slows down. And so I'll leave like the parking lot with like 100 kilometers and I'll go down a hill, I'll have like 105 kilometers. So it's
Well,
like,
that's a big hill.
No way.
it's like adding, like, can you imagine like adding gas to your car just by how you drive it? Like it's kind of
That's
a
cool.
cool.
I could do
yeah.
that with like a little jerry can.
Yeah.
yeah.
I could do that with like,
Mad Max
put a, generator in the back with extra gas,
Yeah.
run that,
Right.
get some extra. No, I'm kidding.
So the Leaf,
Yeah.
you're driving the Leaf,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have an auxiliary gas tank. It's just
No.
strictly electric.
Strictly
right?
electric, yeah.
And then there's the Chevy Volt.
Yes.
That one does have a gas tank.
I think that one is purely electric as well.
Is it?
There's two. There's the Volt and the Bolt, and they're both from
Oh.
Chevy.
Okay.
So
because there was one
Yeah.
new one that was like one of those more affordable
Right.
electric cars, and it had an auxiliary gas tank just in case. Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the hybrids. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a hybrid. Like
Oh.
it just goes full electric. Like you're riding electric,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then if the shit goes down, you can flip it to gas.
All right.
You can
cool.
turn it.
So I guess
But,
what's the superior engine then if you have to keep a gas one around?
Well, I think it's more for range. So the great thing about electric is that there's no maintenance either. Like you don't have to, change the oil, or there's no muffler. There's no like,
What about an
timing belts
air
or
filter?
Yeah, none of that stuff. It doesn't need to air cool or anything.
Right.
So, well, maybe it does need to air cool still.
Probably gets pretty hot.
It does get pretty hot still.
How much RAM does it have?
It's got 200 megabytes, and it plays Zelda. So
There you go.
Wow.
Damn it! Why did I buy the Switch?
It does, told you it didn't do anything.
and I can
Just
also
plays
plug
Zelda.
it in,
That's all
plug
it does.
into my TV.
But
and
does
then-
it taste terrible or delicious?
You know what? I haven't tried
gotta
it
lick
yet.
the car.
Yeah,
I gotta lick the car.
Tastes like bird poo.
That should have been the first thing.
Well, that was great, guys.
Yeah. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And anyone listening, check out our website at www.beerfriday.com. We have a Twitter.
Is that what it is?
No, wait. I always get this wrong.
Hey, can I make a plug?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
guys.
That's what we got.
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Both you guys can do that.
Yeah, okay, I'll make
Twitter,
a plug.
plugs, whatever you got.
I have a book. It's a kid's book. It's on the iPad and the iPhone.
I reviewed it recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Really good.
Pete left a review, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah,
he said it was A+.
it was. I want to remember what I said. Damn it.
I'm gonna get it tonight.
Okay, cool.
and
What's
A+
the
it as well.
what's the age range and the book?
It's
0 to 1.
I would say like 3 to 6, and it's called The Boy with No Brain. You can get it on the App Store.
True story.
It's 99 cents.
Dude, I'm doing it.
Okay, thank you.
I got a 3-year-old or a almost 4-year-old
Without a brain.
daughter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it for her.
Brainless
cool.
or
Thank you.
with brain?
With brain, probably.
It looks really. It looks adorable.
Thanks. It's really simple. I'm not gonna like amp it up, but it was a lot of fun to work on. So
Yeah.
Cool.
So can you
I'm super
explain a
jealous.
little bit how you made it?
yeah, sure. I just thought it was funny to rhyme things with. It's hard to explain. He's got no brain. Stuff like that. I thought was kind of fun. And then
Is your rhyming voice always like that?
that's how I didn't narrate it, but if I did, So I wrote it, and then I animated it all in Maya, and then exported some animations into a 2D platform, and so you can like click on stuff and it animates.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and there's music from a friend of mine, David, who's in this band called We Are the City, a really awesome local band.
That's a great band.
Yeah. And narrated by another friend of mine out in Edmonton, and it all came together, and then it works. You can find me on the internet at www.nathanthomasanimation.com. Buy my book. Thank
There you go.
Cool.
I got no plugs. Just Google my name.
And be amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, there's nothing. I've gotten rid of almost everything.
He's
Oh,
I'm
he's wiping
actually-
it clean.
I'm
he's
gonna
like Illuminati.
Yeah.
Scary.
I'm gonna Google your name right now and see what happens.
But in the not near future, medium future, I'll have some stuff up. I want to start putting up like paintings and other art.
New Westminster Police say Peter Hogan is admitted to a break-in on March 1st.
Oh boy. You got to cover your tracks better, man.
We probably should. cut that.
Just don't Google Peter Hogan.
I totally wiped my online presence after this incident.
Yeah, that's me.
It's Beer Friday, a group of animators getting together to swap stories and see whose is better. And of course, drink some beer. Yeah, Beer Friday is finally here.
Because like it's good to spend some time alone every day, right?
Yeah.
So whether you're,
I have-
no, really though,
yeah.
like whether you're driving or whether you're walking or whether you're doing drywall or something
Yeah.
like that, like getting away and letting your thoughts brew.
It's true,
a
yeah.
bit, right?
It's so often nowadays, like we try and fill the empty times with music or whatever
Yeah,
distractions, and now there's switch on the,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
No more empty times.
yeah.
you know what I mean, like the times where you can like imagine things and come up with ideas.
Nintendo Switch, free of empty times.